Many years ago in Lagos, a couple named Sam and Sandra lived together. They deeply loved each other, having been together for 15 years, 5 years dating and 10 years married. Their home was modest but beautiful, and their life was peaceful and happy. They had 2 well-mannered children, Noah and Olive, who were their pride and joy. As working-class parents, they had a unique arrangement. Sam, with a more flexible job, handled school runs and helped with chores like cleaning, laundry, and small tasks around the house. Sandra, earning more as a bank manager at a reputable bank, cooked large meals on weekends and paid most of the bills. This routine had worked smoothly for years until one Easter season. On Good Friday, Sandra came home exhausted from long hours of report writing and meetings. In the kitchen, she found the freezer nearly empty, as the food she'd prepared the previous week was gone. Using what ingredients she could find, she made a simple dinner for the family, not planning to shop the next day. That evening, the family ate happily together, as usual, then watched TV before Sam helped the kids to bed. He and Sandra stayed up late, chatting, reminiscing, and sharing a glass of wine before sleeping. The next morning, Sandra woke with a severe headache and body aches, barely able to get out of bed, though she was supposed to shop for Easter and the week ahead. Sam suggested ordering food to let her rest and take medication, and she agreed, as it would ease her stress. She recalled Peace, a church member living 2 streets away, who had started a food delivery business a few months earlier. Sandra had tasted Peace's cooking at a church event and knew she was talented, so she decided to support her. She called Peace, ordering stews, soups, jollof rice, fried rice with chicken, and snacks for the kids, then sent the payment. Peace said the food would be ready in 2 hours. 2 hours later, a knock came at the door. It was Peace, who had delivered the food herself. "Oh, Sister Peace, you should have told me, my husband could have picked it up, you didn't need to stress," Sandra said. "Ma, don't worry, it's my job now. I thought I'd deliver it myself and say hi to the kids," Peace replied with a warm smile. Sandra invited Peace into the living room, offering her cold juice, unaware that she had let in someone dangerous. Peace had long envied Sandra from afar. Sandra's life seemed perfect: a devoted, handsome husband, lovely children, a thriving career, and a mansion-like home. Meanwhile, Peace, in her early 30s, struggled. Her food delivery business often went weeks without orders, and when customers did order, it was just a small plate of food for 2,500 naira, sometimes her only income for the week. Nearing 35, she had no serious suitors and lived in a shabby room and parlor, barely affording rent. Compared to Sandra's life, hers was a wreck. Sandra had everything she ever wanted but felt an inner emptiness. Peace, observing the decor and furnishings in Sandra's living room, couldn't contain the jealousy and envy that consumed her that day. Returning home with sorrow and heartache, she felt like a failure, especially since she was now cooking for Sandra, who seemed too grand to cook herself. That night, Peace couldn't sleep, reflecting on how others thrived while she merely watched. Bitterness grew in her heart, and a dark voice began whispering unsettling thoughts that would later upend Sandra's life. The next day was Easter Sunday. Peace rose early, preparing rice, swallow, stews, and snacks. She dressed in a striking blouse, packed the food, and went to Sandra's house. Sandra was surprised to see her. Peace explained she brought food to celebrate Easter with the family, and Sandra, unsuspecting, welcomed her warmly into the living room. They ate, drank, and talked for hours. Peace revealed she'd been engaged once, but her fiancé's infidelity ended it. Sandra, sympathetic, held Peace's hand and said, "Don't worry, Sister Peace, God will send a good man for you," unaware that Peace had already fixed her gaze on Sam like a predator eyeing prey. Sandra shared how she and Sam met in college, and had been together since. She was delighted by how Peace bonded with her usually shy children, who played comfortably with Auntie Peace, making for a joyful Easter. By day's end, Peace helped clean, washing dishes and tidying the kitchen despite protests. As she left, Sandra felt a fondness for her. "Thank you, see how my kitchen sparkles. God bless you. My doors are always open, if you need anything, let me know," Sandra said. "Thank you for having me, you have a lovely home, and your children are wonderful," Peace replied, smiling and hugging them as she left. Days later, Easter ended, work resumed, and life continued, except for Peace. Obsessed with Sandra's home and husband, she craved it all for herself, and decided to act on a sinister plan. Over the next few days, Peace visited Sandra's house, always bringing breakfast for Sam and the kids, sometimes a full English breakfast of toast, bacon, scrambled eggs, and baked beans. In the afternoons, she'd bring jollof rice for Sam and the children to enjoy, all while Sandra was at work. In the evenings, when Sandra returned, her kids would excitedly recount the delicious meals Auntie Peace brought. "Mommy, the food Auntie Peace brought this morning was so tasty. She brought chicken and jollof rice," they'd say. At first, Sandra saw no issue, grateful for Peace's kindness. She'd call to thank her, saying, "Sister Peace, my kids told me you brought food, thank you. But this is too much, you're always feeding us. Let me not drain your resources. Send your account number, let me support you." Peace would reply, "Mama, it's nothing. I cooked for customers and brought the extra for the kids. You won't ruin me. I'm sowing a seed into your home so God will bless me with my own good home." They'd laugh, Sandra unaware that the home Peace meant was hers. Peace kept bringing food, breakfast, lunch, dinner, for days, then weeks, then months, becoming a fixture in Sandra's family. One evening, Sandra came home and cooked dinner as usual, but her husband and children rejected the meal after a single bite. Shocked, as they had always loved her cooking, Sandra asked if the food was too salty, spicy, or lacking sweetness. Her child replied, "Mommy, the food is not sweet." "Oh, the food is sweeter," Sandra snapped, frowning at her husband's unreadable, cold expression. She sensed something was wrong, but it was too late. That night, Peace's cooking had woven something into her husband and children's hearts. Sandra, upset, tasted the food, it was delicious, just as they once enjoyed. She then noticed Peace had taken over her kitchen, cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and whenever Sandra tried to cook, her family dismissed her meals. She also saw how close Peace had grown to her children and husband, acting like the true mistress of the house while Sandra was at work. One day, Sandra returned home to find Sam, the kids, and Peace on the couch, watching TV, laughing like a real family. Seeing this, Sandra was stunned. Trouble was brewing, and Peace was poised to take her place if nothing was done. One evening, Sandra came home early and found Peace in her kitchen again, cooking. Her husband and children devoured the food, licking their plates and asking for more. But that wasn't what angered Sandra. After cooking, Peace approached Sam on the living room couch, saying it was too late, and she wanted to stay the night. Sandra saw red but stayed calm, saying, "Sister Peace, please don't take offense, but it's not appropriate for you to stay over. It's not that late, I'll take you to your gate. It's just 9 p.m. Sam snapped, insisting Peace should stay if she wished, saying, "She said she can't go home tonight." Sandra was shocked. Sam had never contradicted her in front of a guest. Yet there he was, yelling with fury on his face, breaking her restraint. She stood firm and said, "Sister Peace, thank you for everything, but this is my marital home, you cannot stay over and please stop cooking for my family. I can cook for them and manage my home, so please don't be upset." Sam shouted, "What do you mean she should stop coming? Have you lost your mind?" pointing at Sandra. Before she could respond, he slapped her hard, a first in their 15 years together. He continued, "Come here, woman. If Peace wants to stay, she stays, no one can stop it. If you don't like it, pack your things and leave, we're better off without your nagging," his venomous words shattering Sandra's world. She couldn't believe her husband was siding with Peace and had struck her for her. Peace stayed the night, and Sandra cried herself to sleep, marking the beginning of chaos in her home. For days, Sam and the children treated her like a servant, ignoring her. When she tried talking to Sam, it always turned into a fight, with him beating her brutally while Peace watched, smirking. This went on for months until one night, Sam beat her so badly she couldn't move. He dragged her out like a rag doll, throwing her clothes and belongings outside. Battered and bruised, Sandra thought she'd die. When she woke, she was in the hospital ICU, her hand and leg in casts. The gates man had called for help, and estate security rescued her. When they approached Sam, he refused to open the door, locking himself and Peace inside, leaving Sandra to die on the street. Days later, Sandra was discharged and went to her parents' house to recover. Her parents, Papa and Mama, tried contacting Sam, but he had blocked their numbers. Undeterred, they went to his house, but the gatesman said Sam had ordered him to bar them from entering. That week, Papa and Mama reached out to Sam's parents to talk to their son. When they spoke, Sam demanded the bride price he paid for Sandra be returned, saying he was tired of the marriage. Sandra was devastated, unable to fathom how her life had unraveled so fast. Sam, once a gentle soul who wouldn't harm a fly, now glared at her with terrifying rage. She cried day and night, pleading with God for help. Soon, news of Sam and Peace spread through their church and neighborhood. Sam openly paraded their relationship, with Peace moving into their home as the new madam. They went everywhere together, even attending church hand in hand, shocking their pastor. He tried to intervene, but Sam ignored him, no longer the man everyone knew, as if consumed by something dark. After weeks of failed attempts to reach Sam, Pastor Femi summoned Sandra to his office one evening. "Sister, are you sleeping? The devil is feasting in your home, and you're sleeping. What's happening in your marriage? What happened to bro Sam?" he asked. "Pastor, I haven't been sleeping, I've been fasting and praying. My eyes have seen my husband change completely since I let Peace into our home. She's taken over my house. Sam never touched me in 15 years, but now he beat me mercilessly and threw me out of the home we built together because of Peace." "Pastor, help me," Sandra replied. Pastor Femi sighed, saying, "Sister, this isn't ordinary. If you've been praying, increase it tenfold. Observe 7 days of fasting and prayer. I'll tell the prayer warriors to join you in fasting and prayer to restore your home. This evil must be uprooted." He gave Sandra intense prayer points to recite at midnight, prayed over a bottle of anointing oil, and told her to pour it at their house's gate for a turnaround. Sandra left the church, poured the oil at the entrance of their mansion, and returned to her parents' home to begin the fasting and prayer. As instructed, the church's prayer warriors joined her, praying fervently. On the 3rd day, Sam woke up and saw a strange woman in his bed, not his wife. "What are you doing in my bedroom?" he shouted. "Where is my wife?" "Baby, I'm here, I'm your wife," Peace replied. "Are you insane? How are you my wife?" he questioned. It was as if scales fell from his eyes. He rushed out of the bedroom, frantically searching for Sandra, but she wasn't there. The children also began looking for their mother. Peace realized her scheme had failed, her plans collapsing. Sam threw her and her belongings out of the house and began searching for his wife. He contacted friends and family he'd distanced himself from due to Peace's manipulations, and they told him Sandra was at her parents' house. Sam took his children and drove to Sandra's parents' house. When they arrived, he was shocked to see Sandra battered, bandaged, and injured. He recalled hitting her but couldn't grasp why he'd felt such rage and hatred to do something so terrible. Dropping to his knees before Sandra and her parents, Sam wept, pleading, "Honey, please forgive me. I don't know what came over me. I didn't realize what I was doing," tears streaming down his face. Sandra embraced him, saying she'd forgiven him. I know it wasn't your fault, Peace manipulated you. She put something evil in your food that turned you against me and the children, but thank God for delivering us, she said. Sam knelt before Papa and Mama, begging forgiveness for his treatment of them. They forgave him, knowing he'd always been a devoted husband, relieved the wicked woman, and her schemes were gone. That day, Sam brought his family home. By the end of the 7-day fasting and prayer, Pastor Femi announced Peace's arrival. Looking haggard and disoriented, she knelt, confessing to Sandra, "Please forgive me. I haven't slept or eaten, they are chasing me in my dreams, please forgive me." "Who's chasing you?" Sandra asked. "The spirit that gave me the charm I used on your family. I was blinded by envy, your life seemed perfect, so I wanted it. I went to my village, got a substance from a witch doctor to put in Sam's food to make him love me and hate you. I also bound your children to control them. Please forgive me," Peace cried in agony. Sandra looked at her, then said, "My marriage isn't perfect. I don't know what you were thinking. My husband and I built everything from nothing, so why envy me? I've forgiven you. I'm just thankful my family is free from your dark forces. I hope you change and stop envying others, use that energy to pray for your own life. Please, stay away from my husband and children forever. Thank you for what you did, now, have a good life." Sandra wept as Peace left, not from sorrow but from relief and joy. She'd learned not to open her home to just anyone, and to be cautious about food from others, including someone as reckless as Peace. No one knew where Peace went, or what happened to her. Thank you for reading this story. The lesson is to be cautious now and always. Be careful who you let into your home, who you buy food from, who you accept food from, and who you allow to feed your children. Stay prayerful at all times. What lesson did you learn from this story? Remember to subscribe, like, and share with your friends.